Hello, this is Jeff from Baron Leathercraft. Today I am taking a look at the Sculpfun iCube Ultra, specifically the dual module package. That means this setup comes with a 12 watt diode laser and a 1.2 watt infrared laser, and the unit I received also includes air assist. So in this video we're going to dive into what this machine actually does, how it performs in real use, and I'll show you some finished projects so you can see the results for yourself. Quick spoiler alert up front, I like this laser. So if that's all you need to know, thanks for watching the first 20 seconds of the video. But if you want to know why I like it and how it actually performs in day-to-day use, stick around because this is a real review, not an infomercial. So alright, let's go ahead and do this. Everything was packaged really well, and the machine doesn't need any assembly, unless you put the air assist on. Here's the contents of the air assist. Once again, it comes with a honeycomb panel, which is really important. The laser is protected by foam and cardboard stabilizers. The weight of the machine is 6.3 kilograms, that's almost 14 pounds, and it's built well, it's built solid, it doesn't feel like it's going to bend. All the accessories are stored within the machine, also protected by foam. Here are all the accessories that come with the laser engraver, including the glasses. This laser has an enclosure, so you're actually protected from the laser beam, but I recommend getting a dedicated pair of glasses for the wavelength of the machine. Alright, let's do a quick walkthrough of the physical controls and ports of the iCube Ultra. Number 1, RGB indicator light. This gives you a quick visual read on what the machine's doing. Green means it's powered on and ready, blue means it's actively running a job, yellow means the job is finished, and red means there's some kind of error or warning. Number 2, temperature alarm sensor. This monitors eternal heat, and if things start getting too hot, it'll trigger a warning. Number 3, RA mini rotary attachment port. This is where you plug in the rotary attachment if you want to engrave cylindrical stuff like cups and tumblers. Number 4, multi-function button. This one actually does a few things. If a job is running, a single press will pause it and pressing it again resumes. If you hold it down during a job, it'll stop the job entirely. And when the machine is idle, a long press resets it. So this is basically your quick hands-on control button. Number 5, autofocus. Press this and the machine automatically sets focus for you. Number 6, power port. This is just the main power input for the machine. Number 7, this is the optional camera that mounts inside the iCube. Number 8, Type-C PC port. This is the USB-C connection you use to control the machine from your computer. Number 9, power switch. Around the back there are a few more things worth pointing out. A, air assist hose hole. This is where you route an air assist hose if you're using an external setup. B, USB safety dongle. This is a required safety dongle. If this isn't plugged in, the machine won't run, so definitely don't lose it. C, automatic air pump port. This allows the machine to control air assist automatically during a job instead of having it running all the time. D, emergency stop switch. Hit this and everything stops immediately. Very much of a safety precaution. Although every button is not clearly marked, it is laid out in a way that makes sense. So once you've used it a bit, you don't really have to think about where anything is. Here's a quick comparison between the iCube Ultra and the original iCube. One gripe I had with the original iCube was that when you remove the enclosure, the top of the machine had a tendency to sag a bit, and putting it back on could slightly shift the machine. Sculpfun definitely listened to that feedback, because the Ultra is noticeably more rigid. The new door design also means you don't have to remove the enclosure anymore, but even if you do, the top of the machine is now structurally solid and doesn't rely on the enclosure panel for support. You can also see the size difference here. The Ultra is clearly larger and feels much more substantial overall. The door closes magnetically. Plus it also has a safety feature. If you open it, the laser will shut. This can be shut off within light burn, so you're able to adjust that if necessary. If you remove the back panel, this gives you access to the filtration system. There are two filters back here. The first one that comes out is the honeycomb style charcoal filter, and behind that is a HEPA filter. The charcoal filter is there to help reduce odors and fumes, and the HEPA filter is meant to catch the finer particles. Now, filters do cost money, and they're consumables, so that's something to keep in mind. Ideally, the best option is always going to be venting smoke out of the house through a window if you can do that. That said, I've used the machine both with and without the filters, and the filtration system absolutely does make a difference compared to having no filtration at all. Sculpfun also sells a dedicated extractor if you want to go that route, but again, all these options cost money. Venting out a window is still the cheapest solution if it's possible in your setup. If you plan on venting this out a window, you'll use the included exhaust adapter to connect to the also included hose. The internal filters can be removed if you want, but leaving them in will still help reduce odor and capture some particle. The autofocus makes focusing the laser incredibly easy. Just hit the button and it'll start to focus. Just make sure your material is underneath the laser head. I ran a quick material test on some 2mm basswood. At higher speeds, it was still able to cut cleanly through the material. Normally, I run a 10-watt laser at around 400 millimeters per minute and 90% power with wood of this thickness. With the Icube Ultra, higher speeds were usable without losing cut-through, which gives you more headroom to adjust depending on the job. Here I am engraving a wood coaster. I like a deep engraving, so I went ahead and used 4,000 millimeters a minute and 70% power, the lines per inch at 315.14. It took 18 minutes and 46 seconds, but that's because I wanted it to be a deep engraving. You could do it in less time. I thought it did an excellent job engraving on wood. Here's a hairbread I created out of 3-ounce leather. I like how it came out. If you notice, there's no banding. I did 2 passes in the center at the same power, 50% at 5,000 millimeters a minute. It came out really nice. I'm happy with the outcome. This is 8-ounce leather, and I did it at the same power and speed. I was really happy with the outcome of this engraving. There's no banding whatsoever. It actually looks like one solid engrave, which is really nice. And the details in the dragon and the tiger look excellent. The edges came out really nice. You notice there's no soot on the front from the cut. As I turn it around, you notice that the back is very clean. I used air assist for the cut, but not the engraving. There's no soot. This is definitely a usable engraving. I'm happy with the outcome. This is a graphic that I engraved onto slate. The DPI, which is dots per inch, is 321. The speed is 7,000 millimeters a minute and 60% power. And once again, it came out excellent, especially with an image like this that has so much detail. You could see the shading and the different gradients of the grayscale. It just came out really nice. I'm happy once again with the outcome. These are anodized aluminum business cards, and I did them at the speed of 3,500 millimeters a minute and 60% power, and the lines per inch at 317. On the most part, whenever I engrave with a diode laser on anodized aluminum, I'll use vector images. Because a diode laser is removing dye, it's not actually engraving the metal, and that makes vector and raster behave very differently. Compared to the anodized business card, the dog tag is thicker, so I slowed the speed down slightly to 3,000 millimeters a minute while keeping the power high at 90% power, because anodized aluminum is dyed rather than bare metal. The added thermal mass lets the diode laser remove the dye more cleanly without overheating it. That's why the dog tag engraves bright white instead of turning gray like on the business card. Okay, now we switch to the infrared laser module. Unlike a blue diode laser, the 1064 nm infrared laser is absorbed much more efficiently by the metals. That concentrated energy rapidly heats the surface, creating a controlled oxide layer or micro-melted effect that produces a permanent dark mark on stainless steel. This is a stainless steel bottle opener I'm engraving, and the time really comes down to the 1.2 watt IR module, not the machine itself. More powerful infrared systems can run much faster, but this isn't meant to be a factory tool. It's built for hobbyists who want to make meaningful pieces without rushing the process. It's budget friendly. IR lasers are expensive. This project is a lot smaller. It's a stainless steel dog tag for my friend's dog, Pazuzu. Took about 24 minutes. Engraving time really comes down to your settings. Speed, power, and line density determine both how long it runs and how the final results look. It's all about dialing in the balance that works for you. Before we finish, I've got one final experiment. If this goes according to plan, I may have just solved my staffing problem. That final experiment actually turned out better than I expected. Well, I hope this review gave you enough information to make an educated decision about whether this laser is right for you. If you're a hobbyist looking for something enclosed, compact, and capable of both diode and infrared engraving, I think this is a solid choice. I've genuinely enjoyed working with it. I would definitely recommend adding the air assist, and I'll personally be picking up the camera as well. Using a camera makes aligning projects a lot easier from my experience. Well, thanks again for watching. I'm going to go show my new assistant around the laboratory. Take care and always treat each other well. Thanks again.